Is that what you're saying?
I didn't get you. You didn't come out clear here.
I said you're saying that you would not require the governor to address the public as you've been asking for.
Well, we will, we will do, and we'll still be asking. We'll still be asking. It's one of the two tests. It's one of the two tests, if you recall, that I expressed in my opening remark, that I think the governor of Taraba State should pass. It should come out, address the people of his state.
But what you think and what the Constitution says are two different things. I mean, yes, you have said that the Speaker of the House of Assembly should constitute a medical panel, which is what the Constitution demands, but the Constitution made no mention of the governor physically coming to address either the House of Assembly or the people of Taraba State.
No, we should separate out two things here. While I speak at the political level, I also argue along the line of the legal and the constitutional. The legal and the constitutional is what I've expressed, that section 189 of the Constitution says. The political or text or questions or issues around architecture of power, can be discerned from the two texts that I've enumerated. It has no foundation in law or in the Constitution. It's one way for us as Nigerians, to clear a doubt that this man is hale and hearty.
Well, when you talk about clarification, now let's look at what the governor has also done. He wrote a letter, even though you still haven't seen that letter. But was it right for the Speaker to have rejected that particular letter?
Whatever I say here is extremely. My answer will be speculative. I don't know the Speaker. I don't function, on his mind. I'm not close to the center of power in Taraba, so I'm not in a position to say. What may have informed the rejection or refusal of that letter. But from what I hear, the struggle for power is intense, in Taraba. And I suspect that some of the suspicion and doubts that we have, the members of Taraba State House of Assembly do have that suspicion. Like my good friend and brother, Femi Falana, expressed yesterday, that questions must be asked about the authenticity of that letter. And I suspect that it is more than anything else, the authenticity of that letter may have informed the decision of the Speaker of Taraba State Assembly to reject or refuse the letter.
Yes, but is it right for him to refuse the letter?
If it's right,
yes.
If he doubts the source of the letter, if he doubts that the letter is not a product of the supposed maker of the letter, I don't think he has done anything wrong by refusing it.
Because some argue that there is no provision whatsoever from the point of law that requires him to either refuse the letter or ask the governor to address the House of Assembly before he resumes as governor.
True. There's no provision there, but don't forget that the letter was written pursuant to Section 190 of the Constitution. The question we'll ask, we witness what happened October 25th or 24th of last year. It was an unexpected event, and the plane crashed, and the governor was rushed abroad for treatment. And automatically, the provision of the Constitution was thus invoked and activated. The governor has returned. He has written that he'll be resuming his office. But we have one acting governor in this place. My problem with the decision of the Speaker is this: when you reject a letter, why don't you go full hog and invoke the provision of Section 189, 1B of the Constitution? But before it does that, the Executive Council will have to discharge its functions, which the Constitution charges it to do. But look, I'm worried. What we see today is that a very peaceful state, in a section of our country, is gradually, slowly snowballing itself into serious constitutional and political crisis. But for us as Nigerians, we should be very concerned.
Well, I'm sure Nigerians are concerned. That is why everyone, irrespective of state of origin, is speaking on this particular matter. But do you think the Speaker, knowing full well that constitutionally speaking, now he has no right whatsoever, from what we gathered from your answer, not to have accepted that particular letter, is this an offshoot of the, well, inability, or should I say outright refusal somehow of the Executive Council of Taraba State to constitute a medical panel to let the people know the true state of health of the governor? Well, if the maybe perhaps you didn't get me.
There are issues evolving every day, unfolding every day in Taraba that we are not aware of. It's only those individuals that are close to the architecture of power, to the structure of power in Taraba State, that should be in a position to come out and tell Nigerians what is really happening. If the Speaker, from what I read today, refused the letter that was transmitted to him, something may have informed his decision. And if the position expressed by my friend Efemi Falana is correct, there are doubts, that letter was actually written by Governor Suntai. And don't forget too, Efemi Falana went ahead, by calling on the Inspector General of Police, to investigate the source, the source of that letter. But at the speculative level here, if the letter is authentic, you raised a serious legal and constitutional question. Is the Speaker in a position to refuse it? On the basis of what I've read, in our Constitution, he is not. But that is the point we continue to make. Certain issues and matters are beginning to take more importance over our constitutional provision. That shouldn't be the case. That is why we're saying, look, for all parties involved in the succession crisis in Taraba, please come back within the ambit and remit of our Constitution.
What is the constitutional crisis that you refer to that is about to brew, or that state is sliding into?
I didn't get you. I had constitutional crisis.
Yeah, you alluded to that previously. So what is the constitutional crisis that you say the state is sliding into?
Well, if it is not for us to establish if Governor Suntai is mentally fit. Like I said in my opening remarks here, there are doubts and suspicions about his state of mind. And it is not for us to establish proof that this man is hale and hearty. It is for those who are holding him captive, to come out and tell Nigerians he's hale and hearty. This is a proof of his state of mind, and so that, the governance of that state can run peacefully. If what I read in the papers, is anything correct, that the acting governor of the state was not allowed to receive his boss, as I speak to you now, has not seen his boss. There's a serious problem here. He should be in a position to ascertain the state of mind of his boss. He should be in a position to ascertain if his boss is hale and hearty. I presume he's a very loyal servant of his boss. He should be in a position to tell the good people of that state that, look, our governor is hale and hearty. He will need time to recuperate. He will need time to recover from his injuries. Meanwhile, I'll continue with the governance of that state in line with the dictates of our Constitution. But that is not the case. What we see today is a play or a replay of the politics of succession that happened in 2010 when we had a similar matter at hand. I mean, governance isn't running smooth in that state. Let us be honest with ourselves.
Do you see a role for any other actors outside Taraba State?
Well, any other actors, yes. Three principal actors. One juristic, the other one statutory institutions. One, I think the Attorney General of the Federation has a role to play here as the chief law officer of the state. His role would be that he can get in touch with, his colleague in Taraba State, put heads together, see how they can properly advise the Executive Council of that state, to do what is needful. To the president as the leader of the People's Democratic Party, Governor Suntai is a member of the PDP, can convey structures, within the party that can be walked through, and perhaps as well, this is at the political level, see what can be remedied. We don't need a political vacuum to be created in that state. The party can perform its function. And third, we have not come to that stage. If we can, verify through source other than legal that the governor, is not fit, hale and hearty, is incapacitated. We can use that on the basis of that to approach a court to compel the Executive Council to do what is needful under Section 189, subsection A of the Constitution.
All right, Abdul Mahmoud, the President's Public Interest Lawyers League. Thank you for speaking with us today on Sunrise Daily.
It's my pleasure. I'm nice to speak to you.
Melinda Akinlami.